Scene 2 opens with Sara and Cassandra in a space that feels intimate not because anything explicitly romantic is happening, but because their interaction is shaded with curiosity, carefulness, and the delicate dance of women navigating closeness. That slow, almost tentative way conversation becomes a bridge between two people who might be circling feelings they are not ready to name. And when Cassandra asks whether Sara is getting in trouble with Princess by being there, the line is casual on its surface. But layered beneath it is the question women often ask when they are testing boundaries of loyalty, desire, and emotional availability. Is there someone else who claims your attention, your time, your body, your heart? And Sara's answer, a gentle dismissal implying she isn't owned or controlled, subtly reaffirms her autonomy, which is significant for queer audiences who know how often women's independence is policed or questioned, especially when they bond with other women, because there's always that cultural subtext suggesting women must be supervised, tethered, aligned under someone's authority. And when Sara pushes back lightly with "she's not my master," she asserts not only agency but the openness of this connection, the possibility of connection with Cassandra that is not restricted or off-limits. And the long stretch of quiet sounds, the repeated, lingering eminemcy, becomes a moment of wordless communication, not sexual but weighted with presence, a softness that unfolds in silence like two women letting the atmosphere settle around them, breathing the same air, aware of each other without needing to narrate it. And that extended pause can feel familiar to queer viewers who know how closeness with another woman sometimes happens not through declarations or grand gestures, but through shared stillness, through letting oneself be seen without explanation, through the warmth of simply being together, and the camera metaphorically lingers there, not showing eroticism, but rather the emotional gravity of a space where two women exist without men, without the male gaze, crafting their own dynamic in a world that often tries to define them externally. And when Cassandra eventually breaks the quiet with "you're so cute," it lands like a pebble dropped into still water. Soft but disruptive in the best way, suggesting affection, admiration, interest, or at least a comfort level where complimenting another woman is not taboo. And that matters because so many women learn to shrink compliments among each other, to fear that admiration might be misinterpreted or judged. Yet here Cassandra lets the compliment stand, plain, honest, unflinching. And the scene shifts suddenly into a brighter domestic space when they go upstairs and Cassandra's mother is introduced. A grounding presence, a reminder of how family contexts shape the ways women move through the world, especially queer women who often compartmentalize identity within family settings for safety or harmony. And the greeting between Sara and Cassandra's mother carries the warmth of history, like Sara has been here before, or at least is welcomed, showing that queerness and women's relationships need not exist only in secret spaces or nighttime whispers. They can exist in kitchens and living rooms and moments talking about hiking boots. And the sudden pivot into planning for a hiking club illustrates something true about queer emotional life. Desire does not cancel practicality. Affection does not erase the everyday. Women can talk about canteens and waterproof boots while still sensing a budding connection, and that duality of longing threaded through ordinary logistics reflects how queer attraction often lives in subtlety, in the quick glances and lingering smiles, even while discussing flashlights or the thickness of socks. And as the mother joins in with advice, we see generational layering, with hints of caretaking, guidance, and shared womanhood, even if none of them are labeling their identities or intentions outright. And that dynamic can resonate with viewers who grew up navigating queerness not through loud proclamations, but through coded gestures, like borrowing clothes, exchanging private smiles, or asking to help apply lotion. Gestures that might look innocent on the surface, but hold enormous emotional meaning for those living inside them. And another long stretch of conversation follows, this time about hiking gear, the cost of the club, the schedule, the strain on legs, the importance of water and sunscreen. And though it might seem mundane, this everyday talk is part of what makes queer emotional storytelling feel real. Women building trust slowly, learning about each other through ordinary details, feeling out compatibility not just in desire, but in lifestyle, rhythm, humor, patience, and shared interests. And it reflects how queer relationships often develop laterally, rather than linearly, zigzagging between practical and intimate, without a sudden leap into romance, because so many queer women spend early interactions in ambiguity, unsure whether closeness is friendship or something more, unsure whether the other woman feels the same rush in the quiet moments, or whether she is simply kind, simply social, simply caring. And queer viewers might feel their hearts tug here, remembering times they learned the shape of someone's life, through errands and planning, rather than confessions or kisses. How connection unfurled not in dramatic cinematic flourishes, but in conversations about who needs a better sports bra, or who has a spare GPS. And beneath the lightness, another subtle tension remains. Women often joke about their bodies as a way to equalize vulnerability, and Cassandra's mother mentioning bras, breast support, and knockers is playful but also intimate. a moment where female bodies are acknowledged frankly rather than sexualized, discussed in terms of comfort, pain, physical reality, which aligns with queer emotional lens that refuses to turn women's bodies into spectacle, instead contextualizing them through care, function, and self-knowledge. And when they go upstairs to look for hiking bras, the invitation carries gentle weight. It is not erotic but tender, an act of caretaking, sharing something personal like clothing recommendations or introducing someone to the small rituals of womanhood. And inviting Sara upstairs deepens emotional proximity, symbolizing movement from public space to semi-private space, a transition queer viewers often recognize as significant because intimacy grows when walls close in. When voices soften, when mothers are downstairs and two women are alone, not in a sexual way, but in a way that makes the possibility of deeper connection more tangible, crackling like static in the quiet, and the absence of the actual bras becomes metaphorical. Searching drawers, opening closets, not finding what they thought would be there, mirrors the search for emotional clarity, the way queer women look for signs, hints, proof of mutual feeling, only to find uncertainty instead. And the breast cream conversation follows the same pattern, humorous, caring, bodily but not erotic, focusing on comfort and softening, making bodies feel cared for rather than objectified. And when Cassandra offers to put the cream on Sara, it becomes a symbolic offer of care rather than sexual invitation. An act about softness, healing, nourishment, the kind of nurturing touch women offer when they feel safe with one another. And queer audiences who have been starved of tender representation will recognize the significance of this. Women allowed to be close without sexualization, allowed to engage with each other's bodies as something warm, alive, deserving of care, not as a prop for male fantasy. And the scene challenges social discomfort surrounding intimacy between women by presenting touch as emotional rather than erotic, as support rather than spectacle, showing two women learning to trust, to explore closeness without shame. And the hiking preparation dialogue continues alongside this layering of subtle intimacy, letting viewers feel like they're watching a relationship, whatever category it will eventually occupy, develop through ordinary acts like recommending waterproof gear, laughing about bras during hikes, or contemplating whether one will burn under the sun. And the underlying theme becomes visibility, how women practice being seen by one another, how they slowly let each other in, how desire is often less about conquest and more about recognition, wanting someone to understand you, to witness you, to share space with you without minimizing your feelings. And the repeated Eminem moments return in memory, those earlier silences now retroactively meaningful, holding space for tension that neither woman is yet naming directly. And lesbian and queer viewers especially will see the truth of this emotional pacing. Connection grows in unsaid places. In glances, in jokes, in offers to help with lotion or equipment, in a mother saying you should try them on, not knowing she is accidentally facilitating a moment charged with self-discovery. And the scene underscores both possibility and caution. Sara navigating her comfort, Cassandra navigating interest or curiosity, the mother unintentionally bridging generational experience of womanhood and society. Watching from outside often struggles with women being this close, this tender, without either shame or sexualization. Because visibility of queer affection disrupts old narratives where women exist to compete, to please men, to diminish themselves. And here instead they collaborate, laugh, plan hikes, share care rituals, and in that mundanity is liberation. Queer intimacy shown as normal rather than taboo, soft rather than scandalous. And it invites viewers to imagine queer love not as spectacle or secret, but as something that can unfold on a Tuesday afternoon with waterproof boots. And trail mix. And by the time Cassandra offers the cream again, the moment feels like an emotional invitation rather than a sexual one, a gentle test of comfort, trust, closeness. And Sara is allowed to hesitate without shame, allowed to choose her pace, allowed to remain in ambiguity, because queer women deserve stories where tension does not demand immediate resolution, where desire can exist as tender uncertainty rather than explosive passion, where intimacy is built like a hike, step by step, breath by breath, with care for footing, with awareness of cliffs and beauty alike. And in that way, Scene 2 becomes a subtle portrait of queer potential, friendship, maybe attraction, but more importantly, visibility. A story that says women can exist together in ways the world is still learning to understand. Ways that prioritize empathy over spectacle, connection over eroticism, authenticity over performance, and queer audiences watching may find themselves thinking not of sex but of those slow late-night conversations, the shared grocery runs, the tentative compliments that felt like confessions, the laughter over small things, the searching through drawers for something that might fit, hoping maybe the relationship will fit too. And this scene reminds us that the most powerful queer stories are often quiet, unfolding through care, curiosity, and the courage to inch closer to another woman without knowing exactly where the path leads.